Mike, outside of the turnovers that you guys talked about a lot, like what do you think else you guys are focusing on to kind of get your offense to maybe catch up to your defense a little bit?
I think a little bit more pace in our offense, and our not necessarily meaning up and down playing fast, but in half court, like cutting with purpose, like not letting the ball stick, just moving it to move it, and creating more driving lanes and spacing for each other, because our offense can be really good. We just got to continue to work on our spacing, work on trusting each other, and it's going to continue to get better, I think, as the season goes on.
It seems like Kyle is coming out, finding a groove offensively. Will that be a big help too as he kind of becomes more assertive and more effective, I guess, on that end?
Yeah, Kyle's a guy who can pretty much, he has every part of the game in his game, and when he's playing at all three levels and making decisions for us and playing the point, getting in the paint, making plays, scoring the ball in the paint, even knocking down a corner three last game, like he just being more involved and more confident just makes our team better.
Ideally, at what point in the shot clock would you like the first action to be executed?
I've always been in the boat that the first 4 or 5 seconds you want to just try to score, like up in the driving it, trying to make a play. Outside of that, it's probably like 17 on the clock, and then you can run an action, get into a play or something like that. But the first 7 seconds or so, just be free and like drive and kick, try to find something, try to find a defensive breakdown early. But after that, get into our offense immediately, and from that point, it's about how effectively we can run it and our pace at that point.
So like delayed transition, kind of really see if there's anything there.
Yeah, you definitely want to kind of get a little bit a sneak peek of sorts of like what you can get away with early, because sometimes you might not even have to do anything. The defense might, somebody might fall down, somebody just doesn't have their head turned. Like just get back and run it at them and try to get a bucket, and then at that point. Once they're set, it's like, all right, now let's see how the court is spaced, who had to match up with who, because we ran it at them a little bit. Now there might be a mismatch there on the court, so it might dictate, what play we're going to run or who we're going to go at. So I think just a little bit more pace kind of helps all that.
So what is the balance of attacking mismatches but not wanting that to turn into stagnicity as well?
Yeah, I think the easy answer is like when you got a mismatch, especially with our big guys, we're going to have them a lot in games. We want to save it for late game stuff, where you got guys who you're trying to play off the court or like trying to get guys in foul trouble. Just the game is a little bit more, you have a little more information for it. Early in the game, you want to have the ball movement. You want to have everybody involved. You want to have everybody kind of touch and feel the game, to keep them, engaged as far as all 4 quarters go. So I'm in the boat of like just you can slow it down when the game slows down later in the games and do that, but first 3, just move it.
Mike, you know the players now. You played them long enough. How much for point guard do you get to feel that night to go, hey, Edwards, we got to feed the beast because he's in the zone, those kinds of things. And how do you measure that on a nightly basis as a point guard, deciding who's there and who's got the match?
Yeah, no, it's the fun part of my job is like I come in and I literally tell myself I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I don't know who it's going to be. Be ready to adjust to it and to go out there and just feel the game and see who's got the hot hand, see who hasn't got a couple shots in the last few times up and down. How can we get Rudy involved? How can we get Kyle involved? Like all that stuff is kind of wrapping around my brain from the first jump ball. So it's the fun part, just go out there and do my job.
Like in addition to your good defense against the Clippers, also the mentality of finishing, not letting them get back in it to win it. That's kind of been a good mindset. How has that changed, do you think, over the course of this season for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's something we've gotten better at as the season's gone on. I think that we're a team that kind of had to see it happen a few times, see that we can, sustain a 10-point lead in the fourth when they make a run, or win a game when they come back and tie it up, and we have to make a few plays at the end of the game to win. Once we see that, it's like it builds that confidence. Like, hey, we've been here before. Team has made this run before. We're no longer thinking about the past as if like, oh no, this is where we lose these games, and oh no, it's happening again. Instead, it's like, we know what to do. We know how to handle this. Like, let's lock in. Let's get a couple stops and execute offensively, and we can go home happy. So I think that that's been our transition as the season's gone on.
Like when you first got here, or even into camp this season, what were some of the signs that you saw that this could be such a successful defensive team?
I just looked at it on paper, honestly. You look at our roster and the guys, the length that we have, the Jaden, Rudy, Kat, Kyle, Ant, like it was just like a match made in heaven for a team to have the opportunity to be a really good defensive-minded team if we all buy in. And that was the whole thing. It was just training camp. You saw from day one we were working strictly on defense, and that kind of set the stage for us coming into this season. Everybody's going to be bought into that, and we have so far.